Alright guys, I am here with my review of TNA Destination X 2012. And there was a lot of great wrestling on this show. I was thinking about it earlier, and I have to say that every single match was either decent, good, or great. There was no match on this show I would consider a bad match. And that is very good for TNA. I mean, that's good for any wrestling company. So I liked every single match. I thought they all had good parts about them. It was an entertaining show, and I thought they did a great job with this pay-per-view. A lot of surprises also went down. And I thought it was just a good show overall, but the tournament, yes, it was a little funky. They didn't really explain the whole X Division tournament in any way that made sense to me. I know some other people were kind of confused about it. Dixie wanted to bring back the guys who lost the qualifying tournament: Mason Andrews, Rubix, Lars Only, and Dakota Darso. And she was going to put them in a match, and I thought whoever won that went straight to the finals. But apparently it just meant they had to wrestle Kid Cash immediately afterwards. I don't know. All I know was I thought the matches were okay, and the booking wasn't bad either. So yeah, I thought it was overall a good show. So another positive thing about this was on commentary it was Jeremy Borash and Mike Tenay. That's all we need, TNA. We do not need Taz anymore. He doesn't add anything, and he comes across as lazy and doesn't really know the product. That's just how I view him. I could take or leave Taz, to be honest with you. I would much rather have Jeremy Borash, who brings enthusiasm to the product. And he knows all the guys, and it just works much better with him and Tenay than Tenay and Taz. And you don't have to hear those horrible jokes that Taz throws out there. So I'm very happy with the commentary here tonight. Have no idea why Taz wasn't there, though. So it starts with the four-way with the guys who didn't make it. Mason Andrews beats Lars Only, and immediately he has to wrestle Kid Cash. Cash just picks this poor guy apart. I don't know if this was TNA using Kid Cash as a way to test the new guys, you know, rough them up a little, see if they really got what it takes to be a pro wrestler, brother. I don't know if it was some type of shit like that, but he was definitely taking liberties with this kid, Mason Andrews, and it kind of pissed me off a little bit. I don't think it was necessary. I mean, just slapping the hell out of the guy's face. I know some people didn't really care much for this match, but I thought it was decent psychology. The storytelling was there. Mason Andrews just won the four-way. He was eliminated on Impact. He just won the four-way to get a second shot, and now he's in here with Kid Cash, who's fresh and dominating him the entire time. Kid Cash keeps giving him everyone the finger. I don't know why. That's like his gimmick now, like he's Steve Austin. And Cash goes for a moonsault. His face hits Andrews' knees. Mason gets some offense and wins with a roll-up. He moves on to the finals. You kind of knew Mason Andrews was going to win the match because Kid Cash was dominating him so much. You just knew he was going to pull out a win. So I still thought it was decent stuff here. And I kind of just look at the four-way and this as just like one combination. So then we see Christy and Samoa Joe talking about Rude Aries. She asks who he thinks is going to win. He picks Aries. He's actually in second place in the Bound for Glory series. That's awesome for Samoa Joe. He says he only sees Kurt Angle as 10 points for his score. And then we get Douglas Williams versus Kenny King. This was a decent match. If you want to know my thoughts on the whole Kenny King Ring of Honor situation, I talked about it in my review of the Ring of Honor TV show last night. And I do like Kenny King. I'm glad he's getting the exposure. He is talented. But I have heard rumors that people in other wrestling companies, WWE, they're all very, wary of this guy now. They don't really care for him. They think that what he did was very underhanded. And I've heard Kenny King's side of the story too, and they got a new shoot interview out with High Spots, him and Rhett Titus, the All Night Express. And he does sound kind of bitter towards Ring of Honor in this video. But he wrote a response saying he thanked Ring of Honor for his time, and but from what I heard, it was definitely a handshake deal, and he was not supposed to do this. So he went about things the wrong way, no matter how you look at it. But I know he was the favorite to win tonight. A lot of people had him picked, and I thought he was alright in this match. Of course he wins this and moves on. Douglas Williams can't catch a break, so I wasn't surprised by that. Christie asked Christopher Daniels about AJ. He has his apple teeny with him, and he says ever since he stopped worrying about AJ, he's won matches. AJ took advantage of a drug addict like Claire. Then we get Sanjay Dutt versus Rashad Cameron, or Outhouse Brown, or Black G's, or Sabian. And this was alright. Sanjay wins with a moonsault double stomp. Another decent match here. And we actually get an update on Jesse Sorenson. He comes out to the ring, which was a big surprise for me. I didn't expect this at all. He talks about the injury, the fan support, says he will always be a pro wrestler. He hopes Zema Ion wins the title so he can take it from him, and says that he will be back at Destination X 2013. At least they're keeping up with this guy. The poor guy got injured in February, broke his neck, and at least they are kind of taking care of him with this situation so far. So that's good. Zema Ion comes out. He just walks past Jesse. They kind of have a stare down. And we get Zema Ion versus Flip Casanova. And that's what Flip does. He flips all around in this match. Some of the stuff he does is unbelievable. Very talented guy here. Zema wins, though, after a Pancake Widow's Peak. That's the only thing I can think of to call this. He picks him up like he's going to hit the Widow's Peak like Tara, and then he just drops the guy on his face. Looked brutal, but Zema wins. He advances. He's actually the only TNA guy who advanced. All the other three were the new guys. Christie's backstage talking to Kenny, Sanjay, Mason. They all say that they are going to win tonight. Rude comes up, says it's his show, and they're all excited to be X Division champion. Big whoopee. He says Aries will fail tonight. Then we get Samoa Joe versus Kurt Angle in a Bound for Glory series match. The fans are behind both guys here. Good crowd. Angle takes a sick toss over the top rope. I mean, I thought he was going to break something. He's running at Joe. Joe tosses him over, and Angle just flies through the air. It was nuts. At his age, doing stuff like this, just crazy. Angle kicks out of a muscle buster, and he gets out of 2 rear naked chokes. Joe kicks out of an Angle slam. Angle ends up passing out to a 3rd rear naked choke. So Samoa Joe wins the match. He gets 10 points, and it was a little slow in the beginning, but I thought it ended up great. I had no idea which way this was going to go because Angle kept getting out of the chokes, and then when Joe had the last one, I was like, is Samoa Joe getting a push? Because he won clean. And he's definitely in babyface territory right now, which is good for Joe. And yeah, I'm just very, very happy about this. I'm so glad Samoa Joe is now leading Bound for Glory series. If you asked me a few months ago, I would say no chance in hell that Joe's getting any form of a push. And he's actually in 1st place. He's winning over James Storm by 1 point. But it's still 1st place. I'll take it. So yes, very excited to see this. Then we get Christopher Daniels versus AJ Styles in a last man standing match. Daniels slams AJ across a chair. AJ gets busted open. He's bleeding. AJ tosses Christopher Daniels into the ring steps he sets up on the outside, and Daniels starts bleeding from the forehead. He actually looked like a murder victim here. He had a lot of blood on his face, and that helped the match, I thought, because this is supposed to be this big vicious feud. This could be a blow-off to this whole Claire thing. I'm hoping it is. And they fight up on the ramp. They hit a double clothesline on the ramp. AJ hits a moonsault into a reverse DDT on the ramp. Kazarian comes out, tosses AJ off. Daniels goes and gets a table and then sets it up right in front of the ramp. AJ pushes Daniels into Kazarian and then hits a Styles Clash off the ramp through the table. He's able to get up in time. He wins the match. I thought this was very good, and AJ won. So of course I'm thinking, is this over? Please let this be over. This whole Claire, drug addict, Dixie thing, let's just move on now. This was a great blow-off. It was a hard-hitting match. They used the table. They were trying to kill each other. They were both bleeding. That's it. That's all we need to see. Put Daniels in something else, something new. Backstage, Christie's talking to Austin Aries. Aries says he doesn't have to cheat to win. He will beat Rude tonight. And then we get the Ultimate X match for the X Division title. Mason Andrews versus Kenny King versus Sanjay Dutt versus Zema Ion. And immediately Zema goes right for the title, just like he did in his match with Aries and Sabian. Sabian on TV. Sanjay actually hits a standing shooting star on Kenny King, and then he's telling the ref, the cameras are right there the entire time, he's like, my arm, my arm. And then you see him get carried out. The announcers don't mention this for a while. So Sanjay's gone, he was hurt, but eventually he does come back and he starts climbing to the title. Kenny King, Mason Andrews start climbing to the X Division title in the middle, and they fall, so they're out. Meanwhile, Zema and Sanjay are climbing up on top of the steel, way up in the air. Zema has his hairspray. They start to climb down towards the title. He sprays it in Sanjay's face. Sanjay takes the bump, falls off. Zema gets the title, becomes the new X Division champion. I was surprised. I know I predicted this in my TNA predictions video, but I was still very surprised to see Zema pull this out. And I am happy about this. I really like Zema Ion. I like the way he works. I think, yes, we've seen it before, the cocky heel with the hairspray, and just like Cody Rhodes, he thinks he's dashing and all that type of stuff, but I really like it, the way he talks to the camera and says, did you see that, and stuff like that. I just think Zema is a very talented wrestler, and I'm glad he won this match. Plus, I mean, he does deserve it. He's been there for a while. He's been one of the only X Division guys they have, and I just thought it was fine. He tells Christy afterwards that he dedicates the win to his driving force, Jesse Sorenson. He realized how dangerous he was after breaking his neck, and says he's the greatest X Division champ of all time. And then Christy says, back to you, Mike and Taz. And I was just like, come on, Christy. So that's new X Division champion. I'm fine with it. I like Zema Ion. This is going to give him more TV time. That's a plus. So very happy about this. Austin Aries versus Bobby Roode for the world title. This was a pretty good match. I kind of expected more. I don't really want to put the match down. I thought both guys did a great job, but it didn't really... I gotta admit, the finish, towards the end, I definitely got into it, because I gotta be honest with you, I had no idea who was going to win this. Towards the end, I was thinking this can go either way. I'm sure I predicted Roode. I really expected Roode to win this match, but I had no idea what was going to happen. Just a little bit of a slow start. Roode gets out of the last chancery and puts Aries in the crossface. Aries turns it back into the last chancery. That was a cool spot. Roode goes to use the title. The ref stops him. He low blows Aries. The ref ends up taking a bump. Roode hits Aries with the title, and Aries kicks out. Aries eventually gets the better of Roode, hits the brainbuster, and wins. He is the new World Heavyweight Champion. I mean, I'm fine with it. I like Austin Aries and Bobby Roode. I wanted Roode to keep the belt till Bound for Glory, and they just have a big blow-off of him and James Storm. And I do agree with some other people who have said that right now Storm and Roode doesn't really need the title, but I thought it was a great way to put the belt on Storm. But I also can't fault TNA for doing this, because having Aries go over here tonight really creates a new star. And I thought that was a fine choice. I mean, they've been pushing the guy. Hogan said, if you don't win, you lose everything. But if you win, you know you're going to be the champion now. And it is... Roode's had the belt for a long time. I don't think anybody can take anything away from his world title reign just because he lost to Aries. So I think everybody just kind of comes out a winner here. I think it's a fine choice. I don't really know who Aries is going to feud with next, though, because unless he turns heel or something. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I just thought it was a good way to end the show. He does the celebration. He had the pink confetti. I was a little suspicious how it was going to end when he said his mother was watching the show. But yeah, I still didn't think Aries was going to win this match, so I was definitely very surprised by this. So, overall, good pay-per-view tonight. I really enjoyed this one, and I knew going in that there was going to be some great wrestling, and it delivered. So I was very happy with this pay-per-view. TNA did a good job here tonight, and that's it. That's my review of TNA Destination X 2012. Leave your thoughts on the show in the comments below. I hope you guys liked the video, and thanks for watching.